I'm Richard Smallwood, the president of the Duffys Forest Residents Association, and all I'm doing today is the initial welcome to you people for turning up to this occasion. But more importantly, I'd like to welcome Uncle Neil Evers, who's a descendant of the traditional owners of this land, to give us a welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you everybody for coming. It's just fantastic. Isn't it a beautiful area to be in?
Yes.
Who would want to be locked inside a hotel having Father's Day lunch? This is fantastic. Yes, I'm a descendant of the traditional custodians, and I'd like to pay my respects to the elders both past and present. Well, today is a day where we bring generations together. My generation of the original custodians of this area who cared for it, and as we'll see as we go down the next part of this afternoon, and also of the next generation we handed over to the Slade family, and what they did for the area and how they treated the area. But the next thing is we come up to the Progress Association, which has put on this event, and that's another part of it as well. And then what are we all doing it for? It's for these kids, for the next generation. And it's all done out of respect. Respect for one another and respect for the land that we live on. So it's a really good, warm welcome that I give you to the country of my ancestors. And I now hand over to the next generation.
Thanks. You know, if I may call you Uncle Neil, because you've nearly taken the words that I want to say. But I do come here with a high appreciation of respect. A respect that I know I share with you all. You cannot come into land like this without knowing the people who've been here before you. And we know that it goes back a long way. So first and foremost, with due respect, may I even say love, and understanding to those people who have come to this land and so dearly have trodden on this land. They say that you communicate in many ways, and the modern, if you like, Anglo-Saxon way put things into writing, and they made big advances in that. But the Aboriginal Indigenous community also communicated very well, and we are just really trying to understand some of it. And I believe our depth and understanding is growing. And when we will duly understand that they put their marks on this ground, they didn't leave it as something that was unsaid. And so we cannot walk on this land and tread on a carving. We need to walk around it. We need to understand it. And when we start to do that, we can believe that we are starting to feel the soul of this country. Now, it's true too that without us seeing the younger generation, and there's some young Slades here, this rather becomes shallow, because if we can feel that we are trustees of this land and that we are passing something on to protect for the next generation, that is really a part of what this is all about. So where did William Herman Slade, who was my grandfather, how did he become involved in something which was during the Depression and where many people didn't have a job? Many people were looking for work, and fair enough. In those days, it would have been very, very difficult to get here. You would have got here primarily by boat. And in those days, people would cut the flowers and sell them. And it was being rather devastated along the foreshore. And Herman, with his fellow trustees, who were the forerunner of the Kringai Chase Park here in those days, said this has got to stop. And we need to protect this area. And so a growing interest of dedicated people said we've got to look after this place. And they enjoyed this place. And this is a great place for enjoyment. This is what it means to be. We embrace it, we enjoy the beautiful waterways, we enjoy the walkways here, but it's best to live lightly on the earth. You don't bring bulldozers into this place. Even in your mind, you don't bring a bulldozer here. So, when it got to the Second World War, of course, everything shifts. Forget about, work or cut flowers or fishing or this. It's how you protect this place from invasion. And as you know, West Head, they've got gun placements on. And I had a good fishing friend, Wal Hamilton, who came to me in his 80s and he said, I remember the day, just shortly after the war, when your grandfather said, well, this is an important day. I've got to get this area, I've got to go in and talk to the government. They had talked a lot about what are we going to do with the West Head lands, which was not a part of this original land. And he said, if we don't do something to protect this area of western side of Pittwater and West Head, it'll go into residential. And can you imagine what that would be like today? We come here today and we sail down Pittwater, and it's got to be nearly one of the most, all of this has nearly got to be one of the most beautiful parts of the world. And Wal said that when Herman Slade, we call him Herman, but his name was William Herman Slade. When Herman came back, he said, we got it. We got that West Head and additional lands, and it's now included and it's protected. And I often think that was foresight. That was wonderful. And I'm very proud of it. And I know how you feel about that. It's funny though, when I did say this to a ranger, and Kathy, you're here? Kathy has played a big role, thank you. And I said this to one of the rangers one day, I said, we've had some involvement with this park, and he said, I don't know whether I can thank you about this. It's a bloody bushfire hazard. and it's funny, true, but I want to say too how much we appreciate not only the NPWS, but also those volunteer bushfire people who put their lives at risk to come and protect this place. So, Uncle Neil, I cannot really follow your words because you've said them, and the younger generation, and I can't leave without saying thank you to Jenny Harris, to Richard Smallwood, in the interest of the DFRA, Duffys Forest people, the NPWS. There's a person here, Kathy, who's not here today, and that's John Horan. John did a lot of work here on the history, and it's very nice that I'd like to thank him. And all the others.
Apologies from Natasha too, she would love to have been here today.
Yes, and so I know that there's been, people who are not here, people who are deceased, that we are very grateful for their interest and participation in bringing this very lovely day about. And I'll finish on this point. How nice it is that it's Father's Day. Because it was my grandfather. But as Uncle Neil has said, when you're in a larger family, having a father that goes back generations really means something. And so here on Father's Day, I have the great pleasure of, if you like, unveiling this lovely sign. And I'd like to thank you very much. So, Jenny, do I actually? I do? Oh, well, there you go. There you go. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending today. Get on there. Thank you.
Jenny, did you want to mention there's a sign down at Duffys Wharf if everyone's excited enough to walk down?
Oh, yes. There's another down at Duffys Wharf. I don't know who knows the area. That's a very special place. Quite steep at the beginning, but well worth it. It's about 850 metres, I think, from the turn-off point, and I encourage everyone to go down there. There is, as you do approach the mangroves after you cross the waterfall, be aware that there is an Aboriginal midden, so as Paul said, tread lightly
Yes.
as you walk around, because it's not, you actually do have to walk over it. So just be aware that that's there, but that's well worth the walk. It'll very nice.
Jenny, just to think that those middens would possibly be about 7,000 years old.
Wow.
Walking across a bridge.
Yes, yes. We must protect that somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of the location, it's sort of, it's a bit, you can't really protect it. 'Cause
I
it's
see,
the only
yeah.
way,
Right, yeah.
unless we cut our path from down here and you go this way. But
Oh, here I'll volunteer something.
well,
if,
yeah.
if there is a way,
if there
I'd
is
be
a-
very happy to donate some money to put a little walkway or something like that, so people don't walk.
We
there.
did talk about something in.
Thank you.
In the mangroves. They have put stepping stones in the
They
mangroves.
took the stepping stones out so that you walk kind of over it. For
Yeah.
that very reason.
Yes,
Even
it's
if
a nice,
it wouldn't
good.
be much use.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Good
It's
idea.
beautiful down
Good.
Gorgeous. Lovely.
So that's where we will be going down.
Okay.
I-
Thank you, Jenny. Good.
So just from National Parks, I'd really like to thank the Duffys Forest Residents
Yes.
Association. We couldn't have done this without you, and it's been an absolute joy of a project to work on. So I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Thank
And
you.
bring your
Thank
family
you
and friends.
very much.
Thank you, Kathy.